Good afternoon. And welcome to another fantastic day in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Welcome to the Jabil facility and formerly Johnson & Johnson's Ethicon building. I am Jim CHYNOWETH, this year's volunteer chair for Albuquerque Economic Development, or commonly known as AED. Gary Tonjes and his team of crack economic development professionals have been working hard to bring you jobs in this community, and today is an exceptional example of their efforts. We've been meeting with local companies, trying to help them with their needs, and our governor is going to make an announcement that is bearing fruit to their efforts that we are very pleased with. So, it is my pleasure to turn the podium over to a politician who towers over the affairs of this state. She has been a strong ally for economic development efforts across the state, and we truly appreciate the energy and enthusiasm she brings to this tall office. Ladies and gentlemen, the governor of the great state of New Mexico, Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Wow, he's not wrong now. And that's going to be a very tough act to follow. I'm afraid I don't have nearly anything as humorous as making fun of my good friend Gary Tonjes. But I do actually want to take a segue from that friendly opening. Joe, thank you very much. The truth is, when we have good, solid, productive work relationships, and we care about each other, and we're very clear about what the opportunities are, not only in the city and the state, amazing things happen. And in fact, amazing things are happening. And I'm here because we're not competing, we are leveraging the city of Albuquerque, the leadership at Albuquerque Economic Development, the state's economic development. Secretary Alicia Keys is here. And I'm gonna thank the legislature. Look, we really fought hard to have the single largest, by far, increase in the local economic development funds ever, $75 million. And I'm going to take a page from many New Mexicans and many policymakers, legislators. We've got city councilors here. You want to be very careful about having public money for investments that you can't quite see or touch or see what's happening in your community, or don't employ someone in your family or in your neighborhood. There's risk there. But because we've come together and we aren't competing and we're partnering and we're leveraging, those risks not only have been greatly minimized, the opportunity to showcase every single new job in the state of New Mexico, which we have been doing almost a couple of times a month around the state, and we celebrate every new job. I mean, make no mistake, in a state as rural and small as ours that was hit harder than any other state in the country, fact, by the 2008 recession, we celebrate every single new job. But when we're announcing hundreds of jobs, that's not just a celebration. That's an indication that we're doing it right, and that our business partners, Jabil, that they're doing it right. And I really wanted to focus today a little bit on a couple of things, and I know the mayor is going to give more details because he's better at this than I am, but I'm all right with that. We're doing $750,000 in local economic development money. The city will tell you what they're doing. We're going to keep reiterating that's 120 jobs at over 10 years. It's nearly $400 million in economic activity. That's exactly what we want, and that this company can do any number of things. And one of those intelligent manufacturing aspects is 3D printing, and intelligent manufacturing is one of the 9 economic sectors factors that we're promoting as a state. If you have a roadmap, you let companies know where you're willing to invest and why and how you do it and what's available and how you're training a workforce, they will come, they will expand, and folks like John Silva will fight to be here. So I just met John today, and we're walking. He's giving me a quick tour, and we're going to his office for a minute before the press conference starts. So I love this because I'm always late, but we were waiting for the mayor. So right on. I would never keep score like that. That is so unlike me. But it was a great opportunity, so thank you, Mr. Mayor. Because here's what I learned about John, right? Local New Mexican, local Albuquerquean, went to Valley High School. My late husband was at Valley High School. Both my daughters graduated from Valley High School. My oldest daughter is an engineer currently working at Sandia Labs because of the math and STEM science work and Pablo's Calculus Center for advanced math at Valley through Valley's Academy. Just yesterday, second day of school here in the Albuquerque public school systems, I was at Garfield Middle School, which is a STEM magnet. And what are the things that they're doing in their mid-school magnet classes? They're teaching 3D printing. So they are engaging their students in understanding intelligent manufacturing, not just learning how to use the printer and design, right, any number of things to get that printer to achieve, but really thinking about the applications of that. So think about these students, that they're prepared to leave mid-school, that they have an incredible STEM background, that they're already learning about the things that you do in the private sector, that Garfield's part of the Valley School, right, network. They're going to go on to Valley, and then they're going to have a bunch of options in this state. Because Jabil's promoting that with its partnerships, we're promoting that through our partnerships in our public education department and higher education. That means that they are already ready to work because you were an intern. Well, I'm about to give you a whole bunch of new Valley students that can be interns, right? Perfect. 2, they can go on to higher education and get more training and go right to C&M. They can go to University of New Mexico. They can go to any of our institutions in the state, or they're ready, more than interning, they're ready to work. Whatever path they choose, because of these efforts and opportunities, they're going to be successful. I'm incredibly excited about this effort. And then the last thing I want to say, 120 jobs is a big deal here. This company that can do that's multifaceted, can do a number of things, including, driverless cars is an area that New Mexico, which many people don't realize, have been sort of planning and leading in for a number of years. We're beginning to see companies have that same vision and do that same work. John Silva is one of those boomerang New Mexicans who believes in us, who knows what we have to offer, that's clear about our talent pool, our labor pool, and he fought to get that expansion here. And they could have gone to Colorado, and I am also clear that in addition to the economic opportunities, Mr. Mayor, and in addition to the incredible workers that are here, and that we have so much more to offer, that clearly he could not stomach the thought that he would be stuck with Colorado green chili. Of that, I have no doubt. And so we're going to use every single tool in our toolbox, every single asset that we have to promote economic development in our state. You know, we really are on fire. And I've been telling companies all around the country, if you're not here, get here. Because New Mexico is not just the next big new thing, we are the thing. And you got to get here and stay here, and you're wonderful. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to introduce Danny Schlegel. We now have a small business policy advisor inside the governor's office, so make him do a bunch of work for you. He's ready, and I'm ready. Congratulations, Jabil. Congratulations, Albuquerque Economic Development. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership, and thank you for inviting me here today. What an honor.
to do a stage change? Okay. All righty then. Oh, I still have notes. Okay. Governor, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Let's see, what do we want to do next? Gary, any idea?
I'm going to suggest the mayor.
Oh, the mayor. Good thinking. Another partner in this project whose support has been instrumental is the mayor of Albuquerque, Tim Keller. Now, while the mayor's face may not be clean-shaven, he and his team's economic development department's efforts are cutting edge. They, too, have been great partners with AED, and the mayor's goal to grow our existing business is bearing fruit with this project. Ladies and gentlemen, now he kind of got cleaned up a little bit, so thanks. Your mayor, Tim Keller.
I almost shaved all the way this morning, so, you know, I was with you on
Thank
your
you.
talking points. I had a beard yesterday, if anyone's wondering, a full beard. So, a couple of things. Firstly, of course, thank you to AED. Thank you to our wonderful governor and to Jabil for all that we're celebrating today. I think I want to do basically a little myth busting. That's going to be our theme for my short time up here with you. Mythbusters. So first one is, was the mayor late to this event? The amazing thing is, which I think we would agree for the first time ever in our tenure, we were both early.
I was here first.
Yes, and you were here first, which admittedly that's a new thing. But good job, teams. We were both early. And also, I also want to mention everything that the governor said also is in part due to our legislature, of course, at the city level, our city council. So Ken Sanchez is here. Let's thank him for the LEDA funding for this. Okay, the second myth is how to pronounce the name of this company. So is it Jabil, like gerbil, or is it Jabil, like Ya Rule, which is how I was saying it earlier today. Ja Rule. It depends how you want to go. If you, I kind of New Mexico-ified that for us, you know, use the. So, but I think it's actually Jabil. So.
It depends
Like
on how
Maybell.
many drinks you have. But Jabil's correct.
Well,
Before you drink Jabil.
I once upon a time worked for a company called Grey Wolf, and I thought it was because they were named after a Lobo, so I made all these Lobo jokes. And it was actually a guy whose last name was Gray, and a guy whose last name was Wolf. And I understand Jabil is Jay and Bill. All right, there we go. Thank you, Governor. So, okay, so we'll work on that, but I'm with you. We're going to have fun with your name from here on out. And we're definitely going to kind of New Mexify it a bit. The other myths I want to talk about are a little bit more serious, but in some ways not so much. I hear all the time certain phrases, and one of them is that we need more economic-based jobs. And then everyone inevitably is like, what's a base job? So this is an economic-based job, right? This company, thank you, Sherman. They are bringing in money from out of state for work that they do here. And, you know, there's more complicated ways to define it, but that has the highest return on investment for us. So as the governor mentioned, we do celebrate every job, absolutely. But economically, certain jobs are a little bit more impactful than others. And today we are celebrating that. That is so special because we don't always get to celebrate economic-based jobs. So that is one thing that makes this extra special. The second thing is that often, you know, we have to give away the farm to get a company to move here, meaning we have to pay all of this money to get companies to move here. I want to share with you the numbers. I believe, if I have this right, at least from city perspective, $250,000.
That's right, correct.
A modest investment to help you retool and reset up in exchange for 120 jobs that are above our minimum average wage rate. That is a great return on the investment. And so I think it's a really good example, even to your point about the cutting edge. You know, we want to put in as much as needed to be helpful, but we also, you know, aren't just throwing money at companies. And so that is an absolute myth. And I also just want to mention that I don't think AED or frankly our predecessors really did that either. We really try and make that return on investment calculation work, and this is a tremendous example for our city. Now, another myth that we hear, I got two more, is that, you know, this, oh no, a national company is leaving or moving, and it's the sky is falling. So, you know, Ethicon's leaving. And all of a sudden, you know, we hear this kind of unfortunate pessimism that sometimes we feel in New Mexico and in Albuquerque. And I think this is a good example where, like, we've got to understand we're part of a global economy, and that's a good thing. And that also means companies come and go for a lot of different reasons that may have nothing to do with our city. And we also know that because of the expertise that's been here working on these issues for a long time, we can actually retool ourselves, and we can get other companies to come and build and transform these same facilities and create even more jobs than hopefully were there in the first place. That's a really good thing, and to me it speaks to that deep resilience that we know lives in our state and in our city, and I think lives where we are economically. When you've got a situation with our Sunport right there, you've got the labs and all the kind of manufacturing bases that we often tend to overlook, we are resilient economically, and we'll be just fine with our new partners bringing economic-based manufacturing jobs here. And so part of that, too, is like, oh, where are the manufacturing jobs? That's, I think, my last myth. AED never brings manufacturing jobs. All they do is call centers. That's just not true, right? We can point to film, we can point to engineering, we can point to software, and we can point to high-tech manufacturing. That is a really good thing. So I just want to remind folks of that. And I know no one in this room believes in any of those myths, but there are some who do. So I wanted to kind of debunk those and really end with this. There's a final myth that somehow, you know, we have our challenges. We know this, especially in Albuquerque. But I know this, in the last roughly 2 years, we have brought in $500 million in new wages. Now, that does include Sandia and the new jobs they're bringing in. It also includes the new jobs Intel is bringing in. But it also includes the 3,000 plus jobs we brought in with the film industry. And so when you add those up, it's also 3,000 new jobs. So in the last 2 years, we have, and a lot of these are just coming online now, but here's what's coming and what's starting. 3,000 new jobs, $500 million in new wages. That has to make a difference. That has to make that vision that our governor articulated about being the place to be, I believe that is also real, and we're all going to start noticing that over the next few years. And so I want to thank Jabil for being a part of that story, and thank you for everyone who worked on this project today. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor. I was with you except for the part of never being late. I'm still not sure you proved that myth. Anyway.
Oh, no, I didn't say I was. I'm way well on top. Just not today.
Oh, okay, that was a today thing, okay.
Yeah,
I'm with you now.
Just one time.
I'm with you. Okay, so now it is my pleasure to introduce arguably the smartest guy in the room because he was smart enough to pick Albuquerque as the location for their plant. Let's see. Steve BORGES is the CEO EVP of Jabil Healthcare. Steve has been with Jabil for over 26 years, so not a millennial, and has overseen a number of Jabil's growth initiatives, perhaps none greater than his current charge. Jabil acquired manufacturer Nipo in 2013, and then struck a deal with Johnson & Johnson last year to take over 14 of their medical device plants across the country, including this one. And we are excited about Jabil's growth plans and hope they include a lot of New Mexicans. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Tampa St. Pete resident and Fitchburg State Falcon, Steve BORGES.
Thank you.
First, I'd just like to extend a formal welcome to everybody here that is visiting our Jabil Albuquerque site. I'm excited to have everyone here. Unfortunately, you can tell it's kind of a small location, so we couldn't invite all the employees, but I can speak on their behalf. They're incredibly excited to see everybody that's here today, and they know why you're here and the influence it has on their future. So thank you for that, and we'll certainly share this particular forum with the employees as well. It's very important to us. I want to thank you, Governor Grisham and Mayor Keller, for your great support of all the activities and investments that we're trying to make here in Albuquerque. Leadership matters, and that leadership is extended to the support that we've received from the economic development teams and their hard work and dedication to this project. It doesn't go unnoticed that the heavy lifting sometimes happens behind the scenes, and without that support and John, your leadership, we wouldn't be here today. And so thank you to everybody for your great support. Jabil will spend approximately $42 million of investment into this site, which is in some areas has already started. You couple this with the state and city's local economic development funding, we are collectively bringing innovation, as was spoken to earlier, technology, equipment, resources to the Albuquerque site, including what makes me really excited is the Center of Excellence here for 3D additive manufacturing. This increased investment is part of our initiatives to strategically continue to position ourselves well for the future. And when you look at additive manufacturing, whether it's in defense and aerospace or our business here in healthcare, the growth rate is somewhere between, depending on which articles you read, somewhere between 25% and 35% growth. So when I think of that and just kind of pair that back to what we're talking about today, for me, it's not just about the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It's really putting a foundational footprint here in Albuquerque for the future to take advantage of that growth. And we're really excited to be able to do that. And I know our employees are incredibly excited as well. In addition to the site investments that I just spoke of, we're also excited to be welcoming, and we've already started this process, of welcoming 120 plus new employees to the Jabil family. And that's really exciting for us. And when I think about the institutions, the colleges that were mentioned earlier, as we kind of work our partnership with them locally to bring talent from New Mexico into this factory. We have a lot of great talent today. We wouldn't be here without it. The legacy of this plant is well known. The future of this plant continues to be bright, and we're really excited about what that holds and for the future employees that we'll be bringing on. These positions will include everything from additive engineers, line supervisors, quality engineers, operations management, operation roles. So it's a broad range of roles and responsibilities that will be added to this particular site, and that excites us quite a bit for the growth ahead. It's interesting. I'm going to digress for a second, but my first time into this factory, I shared this with John as he was walking me around. The passion of the employees at this site has been outstanding. Their embracement of change has been overwhelming. And when I think about that and I couple with the fact of what they do here, this is a healthcare factory. Everything they do touches the lives of patients somewhere around the world. And how they embrace that here is why this is the great place to have a center of excellence for additive manufacturing, and why I'm so excited. So I just want to close with thanks for all your support. Again, John, thank you for your leadership. We're excited about the future, and again, I can't thank everybody for all their hard work to get us to this position today to be able to speak about this, and our excitement is pretty overwhelming as we talk about it at the factory, so thank you.
Thanks, Steve, and welcome, although you've been here for a little while, so. But a great introduction into the community. Let's see, so now this is like the pre-prepared part, so. AED is a membership organization, and we have several members here with us today. Our members' financial investments allow us to support the existing companies and provide the array of services that our crack team of economic developers do for employers such as Jabil. I want to thank them for their investment and the important role that they play in making all of this happen for our community. Ray, that's you. Oh. It's my understanding that we were in competition for this project with the community of Monument, Colorado, just outside of Colorado Springs. In January, in the course of meeting with our existing companies, AED learned from John Silva of this opportunity and the potential that it could go to Colorado. Now, we might think it's obvious that Jabil should locate their plant in Albuquerque. I mean, come on. How hard can that be? Not that you're not the smartest guy in the room, but not everybody sees our community the way that we do. And it was Gary and his team and the partners that helped to convince Jabil that this was the right location with the apt guidance from John Silva. So big round of applause for the team that put this together. Can't leave the podium. I won't leave the podium until I thank Gary's team members who do most of the real work. Deborah Inman, Anne-Marie Henton, Marisol Lucero, Beth Waldrop, all do a phenomenal job for our community. Let's give them a big round of applause. And Gary, I suppose. Now, AED would like to take a little bit of time to thank some of our partners. Cynthia Jaramillo, Deirdre Firth, and staff with the City of Albuquerque's Economic Development Department. Secretary Keys, Mark Roper, and staff from the State of New Mexico Economic Development Department. He's already been called out, but Counselor Ken Sanchez and all of your fellow counselors, I think we're in Ike's district, so thank Ike for us. But we also are going to be looking for some IRBs, so just think of us when that comes around. Thank you. Chris Muirhead with Modrell Sparling Law Firm was a big help in this project. Central New Mexico Community College and the University of New Mexico were very helpful. Commissioner Stephen Michael Cazada and the County Commission, they were kind of there. That was fine. And then our state delegation, congressional delegation, and of course, I'd also like to thank my mom who couldn't make it here, but she sends her love. With that, I think I've thanked everyone and their mother. So we are now officially adjourned. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for loving Albuquerque.